Yo, y'all, just call me Monte, King Gigawatt. My sports recap for this week, AFC North games. I just got done talking about the Steelers and the 49ers. Let's talk about the Browns and the Bengals. Big Browns. My Browns and the Bengals. Salute to Cleveland Browns. Salute to the Bengals. This game was crazy. Let me say this before I speak on what's going on. My opinion, right, is Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in the NFL. That's my opinion. It could possibly be a fact, but I won't even go off facts. I'll just go off opinion. I'm saying Joe Burrow. Hey, my fault, y'all. I gotta hold the camera because I'm driving. But I'm saying Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in the NFL. Hands down, regardless of what happened on Sunday or whatever, he is the second best quarterback in this. And you can't tell me no different. You can't tell me no different. You can't tell the world no different. And you can tell because after this game that I'm finna speak on, everybody did nothing but gave him an excuse on why he played the way he played. But let's talk about what happened. The Browns played Cincinnati, and they beat them 24-3. That was the score for real, 24-3. Joe Burrow had a season career low 82 yards to the point that they pulled him out in the fourth quarter because of how bad it was getting. He had 82 yards in the air. Jamar Chase had 39 yards. I think Higgins and Boyd had 17 apiece, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I'm going to say this. It was raining. It was some type of mist, some type of rain that they said it wasn't even really like raindrops. It was just like big old sheets of water just coming out the sky type deal. So, and if you watch the game, you can tell that Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow was like off when it came to throwing the ball. Just they couldn't be accurate. They couldn't get anything. The ball was slipping out their hand. Every time they threw it, the ball fell to the ground so fast because it was so heavy and things like that. So what I'm going to say is this. I'll give 55% the reason why the Bengals lost like that was because of the weather. 45% was because of that Browns defense. I'm going to keep it real. Now, do I think that the Bengals would have had more yardage if they played on dry ground and it didn't rain? Yes, I do. Because like I said, Joe Burrow, I feel, is the second best quarterback in the league. I believe that wholeheartedly, and I think half the world believes it as well, that Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in the league. What I don't believe is, even if he got those yards, he was going to beat the Browns. Reason being is because of the Browns defense. The media don't want to give credit where credit is due. The Cleveland Browns has the three best cornerbacks in the league right now. No, not the three best cornerbacks in the league. But as far as the system together, they're the best corners in the league. The trio with three corners that good, and Greg Newsome, Denzel Ward, and the other, I forget what the other dude name is. I forget. Dang, the other dude. Three amigos? Well, that's what they call the Bengals. So they three. The Shield, that's what my boy Quincy called him, the Shield. Yeah. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, that's exactly who they are. That's exactly who they are. They had them boys locked up. Delpit as a safety, dog. Great pickup. Thornhill didn't even get to play, but he playing Monday against Pittsburgh. I'm trying to tell you, man. Thomason, and on the defensive line in the backfield. Smith on the other side of Myles Garrett in the backfield. Myles Garrett playing basketball with the offensive lineman. Getting back there. Listen, this Browns defense is top 5 in the league. Point blank, period. The best defense in the league, my opinion, is the Cowboys. Second best defense in the league, 49ers. Third best defense in the league, the Cleveland Browns. The fourth best defense in the league, the New York Jets. And then y'all can go anywhere else after that. And salute the Bengals defense. I don't know why there ain't nobody talking about that. The Bengals defense was on point too as well. Like, let's keep it real. Don't downplay the Bengals because they lost to the Browns. But don't play the Browns like they won by accident. Deshaun Watson, the reason, why are you talking? Deshaun Watson found a way to win. The reason why I feel, just like the other Browns fans feel, that we were going to win the game is because we have a mobile quarterback. And Joe Burrow isn't a mobile quarterback. So if it's raining, it take all Joe Burrow's powers away. Because he's known for throwing for hundreds of yards. But if it's raining and if he can't do it, he's not a mobile quarterback where he can just lead a pocket and go crazy. But Deshaun Watson is. So when it was raining, the Browns had a 70% chance of winning the game, period, over Cincinnati out the gate, just off that alone. Just because your quarterback can move around. Just because your quarterback is a dual threat. That's why the Browns at the end of the day was going to win that game. Now, could the outcome have changed if it was on dry ground? I don't know. But we'll see. I don't know. I think Deshaun Watson, like all the passes that Joe Burrow was throwing that he wasn't completing, Deshaun Watson was doing the same thing. And if you watch the game, Deshaun Watson had some wide open people and the ball was just dropping. It looked like it was going right to him and it just dropped on his own. Because of that ball. Because of how heavy it was, because it was raining. Joe Burrow, you could tell when Joe Burrow let the ball go, it was a bad pass. You could tell when Deshaun Watson was letting the ball go, it was a bad pass. You could tell. You could see all of this because of how bad the weather was. So when the Browns have somebody like Nick Chubb, when you have somebody like Ford, when you got tight ends like Njoku, when you got a quarterback like Deshaun Watson that could just take off and run for 20, 25 yards, you have a better chance of winning when you're playing against somebody who don't got a quarterback like that in the rain. Plus, you have a top 5 defense in the league. That's why the Browns won that game. The media don't want to give them that credit. What the media want to do is blame the weather, the reason why Joe Burrow didn't carve them up. But not understanding that every time the wide receiver tried to get the ball, a cornerback was right there on him. Right there on him. It was a lot of passes that Joe Burrow couldn't get off because the blitz was right there in the backfield. Our front 5 was dogging them. Dogging the whole offensive line. Our corners were so tight, knitted on the wide receivers, they couldn't get nothing off. The reason why I don't think that the Bengals would have won even if it was on dry ground. Hold on, y'all. The reason why I don't think that the Bengals would have won on dry ground, it's clearly because hold on, y'all. Yeah. It's clearly because the Bengals already lost the last 6 games with the Browns. They're 1-5. So at the end of the day, it's more to it than wet ball, dry ball, any of that. It's more to it than that. The Browns had their number for the last 5 games? Last 5? I don't know, so now they 6-1 against the Bengals. 6-1. Joe Burrow has not beat the Browns yet, if I'm not mistaken, except for one time. I think that was last year. I think they beat us one time last year. But since he's been playing, since he's been the quarterback for the Bengals, he only beat them one time. Like, come on, like the Browns defensive coordinator, I forget, Schwartz or whatever his name is, he got that defense on a whole nother situation, bro. Their defense is scary, but the media don't want to speak on that. They saying it was raining, so Joe Burrow, whatever. So I hope it don't rain when Pittsburgh play the Browns on Monday in Pittsburgh, because I think the Browns are going to win. Reason why is because one of Pittsburgh's big run stoppers and Cam Hayward's not playing. Pittsburgh's wide receiver, what's his name? Deontay Johnson or whatever. He's not playing. The Pittsburgh offensive line is not that good, and the Browns' defensive front is crazy if you watch the game. I don't think that the Steelers are going to win this game at all. They have an opportunity because everybody does. If Deshaun Watson goes out there and stinks it up, they have an opportunity. But if Deshaun Watson is better than what he was on Sunday, it's just a little bit better than what he was on Sunday, then the Steelers are losing this game on Monday. They're losing the game. They're going to be down 0-2. They're going to be down 0-2 if they don't get it together. I think TJ, I can't even tell TJ to play an even better game. He had 3 sacks. What else do you want TJ to do? He had 3 sacks. You got Pat Peterson as a corner. You got Joey Porter on the other side. You're not even using him. You got Highsmith. He didn't look like he was doing anything. You got Jack. You got all these other pieces on the defense that look like they wasn't doing nothing. They're probably going to show up because they're playing against the Browns. But at the end of the day, the Browns are not the same Browns. When cats be like, oh yeah, the Browns are just the Browns. Oh, y'all can kill that conversation. That ain't legit no more. That ain't legit no more, man. It's 2023, 2024 season. We not the same, bro. We not the same. I know, like I said in my last video, it's so many people, like my homie I be debating with all the time. He talking about, 49 years and counting for the Browns to have a Super Bowl or a winning season. I'm like, bro, y'all haven't won anything since 2009. It's been 15 years since y'all did anything. I don't even remember when I was doing 15 years ago. Besides music, I don't remember nothing that I've been doing for the last 15 years. And a lot of you don't remember either. So you can't bring that up. Oh man, look at that big old gap, 49 years. Let's talk about this gap. From 2023 to 2009, that's a big gap. You have not won anything since then. One playoff game. And the Browns won playoff game. And guess who that playoff game was against? The Steelers. And who put them out? Baker Mayfield. That was our one playoff win that we had. And that was against y'all. So y'all can't even use that. The last 15 years, we both as a unit only have one playoff win. And our win is against y'all. That's one. For 2. After that, I'm saying Tomlin's championship is with Cowher's players. That's what I'm going to say. Cowher's players. Because Cowher won the championship in 2006. I don't know what year Tomlin came, but in 2006, Bill Cowher was the Steelers coach. All those pieces continued to play with Tomlin, and they won a championship. I don't think anybody brand new came with Tomlin. I mean, I think Ben maybe? No, Ben was with Cowher, if I'm not mistaken. So, no. So all this is all Cowher's build. Oh, them winning the championship. But I digress. 2006. So Tomlin won one championship in 15 years. Okay? But you're calling for Matt Canada's head. I agree. He's not good. Your offensive coordinator is terrible. He needs to go. But also, Tomlin, only one playoff win in 15 years, bro. One playoff win in 15 years, bro. Let's not act like Tomlin didn't have Le'Veon Bell at his peak, Antonio Brown at his peak, Martavius Bryant at his peak. Like, come on, bro. He didn't have pieces. For him to not win, like, come on, man. It's more to it than that. You can't just keep being nice to all these players. Can't be. All right, so anyways, but then we're talking about gaps. So from 2010, do y'all remember when the last time the Steelers won a championship? 1980. So 26 years before then. But yet y'all want to come with us with the 49 years. Granted, I'll salute you because of the fact that you at least won championships. I give you that. You got 6. The 70s, 80s, 2000, 70s, 80s, 2006, 2009. I give you that. But all from 1981 all the way to 2006, you didn't win anything. So all the early 80s and the late 80s, you won nothing. All the 90s, you won nothing. All half of the 2000s, you won nothing. So you keep dogging the Browns, but at the same time, you weren't doing no better. Until you got Ben. Then you got a championship. With Jerome Bettis and Hines Ward and all of them, because Cowher put that situation together. And then you got a second one. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. Like, Steeler fans got to stop bringing up that 6 ring stuff and stop talking about these gaps. Like, they don't got big, huge gaps of when they was winning and when they was losing. It's a new era, bro. All teams that used to be good back in the day, they're not good now. All teams that weren't good back in the day are good now. Come on, man. Like, even when Joe Montana played for the Kansas City Chiefs, they weren't good. Well, Joe Montana football in 94. I think that was when he played for Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken. They weren't good. They just had Joe Montana. They weren't good. They didn't win no championship. They didn't win no championship. So, like the Kansas City Chiefs, they weren't good till they got Patrick Mahomes in them. They didn't win no championship till Patrick Mahomes and them got there. They weren't killing the league until now, but Patrick Mahomes is there. Now they start talking junk. Other than that, like, they weren't talking junk like that. They were good with Alex Smith, but they weren't talking junk. They talk junk now because they have Patrick Mahomes. Like, come on, bro. Who else? Miami Dolphins. Solidified. They're crazy right now. Even when they had Dan Marino, they weren't crazy when they had Dan Marino. They were cool, but they weren't winning no championships without, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't doing that. Buffalo Bills, when they had Jim Kelly, they was cool. They wasn't winning no championships, though. They was in the Super Bowl. They was always losing to the Cowboys. Then they fell off. Bills, there wasn't nobody talking about the Bills for a while before Josh Allen got there. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, teams, the league is evolving. Teams are getting a lot better. A lot of players. We're drafting a lot of people. The Cincinnati Bengals, they dang near went back-to-back Super Bowls. Not they didn't win, but they dang near went back-to-back. They drafted Joe Burrow. First year, he got injured. Second year, he went to the Super Bowl. Third year, he almost went again. He went to the AFC Championship. We can't keep ignoring this situation. Like, yo, the league has changed. It's not the same. So we can't keep saying, oh, yeah, the Steelers is better than... No, you're not. You're just like everybody else. Even playing field. Everybody's trying to build. But there's a lot of teams that's actually showing up. And the Browns are one of those teams. If you look at their roster, the Browns top to bottom are nice. They're nice, top to bottom. Offensive pieces all the way down to defensive pieces. They are nice. The media just don't want to give them credit. But the Browns are a nice squad. And the league is going to be on notice. They're going to be put on notice. The Browns only needed a quarterback. Deshaun Watson. Am I saying that Deshaun Watson played a heck of a game against the Bengals? I mean, against, who was it? The Bengals? No. But it was also raining. Deshaun Watson had to do a lot better. Definitely had to do a lot better. Am I satisfied with what he did? For the win? Yes. But satisfied as a whole for the season? No. Heck no. I need to see more. But I seen a lot in the rain with Deshaun Watson. At least he was throwing the ball. Now, let's see what he does if it's dry on Monday for him to throw that same ball and see if those balls are still dropping to people's feet. If it is, then it's a Deshaun problem. If it's not, then, bro, the league is in trouble. Because you know you're going to be scrambling, and it ain't too many defensive ends, it ain't too many linebackers that can chase him running. So that Bengals game was a good game for the Browns. Do I think the score would have been the same if it was raining? No, I think the score would have been higher. I think the Browns would have scored more. I think the Bengals would have scored more. I think Joe Burrow wouldn't have had 82 yards if it was dry. But I still don't think that they would have won. I think the Browns would have still won because of how crazy it was. Regardless if it's, at the end of the day, with it being raining, that has nothing to do with the defensive line being in the backfield as soon as they say hike. That ain't got nothing to do with rain. That got everything to do with your offensive line not holding up. So I think it would have been worse if it was raining. They would have been back if it was dry. It would have been worse because Myles Garrett and them was doing whatever they wanted. So, but Monday's game, man, we gonna see because I'm gonna talk about that in another video. But the Browns and the Bengals, 24-7. That game was a crazy game. The media got to stop hating on the Browns. They got to start paying attention. I know they don't want to speak about the Browns because the Browns, quote unquote, is always just the Browns. So when the Browns wins games, they find a reason on why the team they played against what was the struggle on them. Not no, hey, so salute to the Browns. They were balling. Their defense was balling. The quarterback was balling. The wide receivers was balling. They'll never say that. They'll be like, no, the other team, they just, they'll rebound. They'll do better. They'll never want to get the Browns no credit. Never want to get the Browns no credit. So I want to see what they're going to say if the Browns went on Monday. I'll be there front and center as well. I'll be back.